there's still the Taurus call, which we have Uranus in Taurus that's going backwards again now. It's not like just booking out of Taurus. It's still Taurus saying, well, did you learn how to relax yet? I mean, really, what we mean by that is it's kind of interesting to go here, but there is a mix-up of information that comes in and out of the mass collective ear hole and out hole. All depends on, like, I just wanted to talk about money, saying like who you work for, what you're working for, how that's hooked in to what. Well, it's a machine, so well, into stupid people, I guess. Stupid people would have to fall right for it, and there's always that's outnumbering. And so, if there's a time to insert some kind of suggestion, essential work was one of them. Doing essential work only, well, who knows what that is? I remember that, and I live in a small town up on the top of a mountain here, and I remember I saw a little work vehicle, I guess it was, the little truck carrying a trailer with cleaning supplies and stuff, and then they had written on there or spray painted all work is essential or something like that. And so that's a conversation to pipe up, because I say, what does work mean? Did we lose the definition of what that word even points at in our lives as an experience of reality? And the question that's hot, I'm always hot on the topic, is what is reality? Whew. Whew. I was just talking with somebody on my messenger, and it's interesting to see what is coming at us during the Mars Pluto opposition, which is like a test for all of humanity right now. About what? Well, there's that very end degree of Capricorn. See, the cool thing about this oppositions is that we're going to experience it for the last time in the cardinal square degree at 29 degrees, and then here we come up in November when Mars is already in Leo now, and it kind of goes moseys into the 6th degree, and then it starts to go backward. Well, it takes a while, but that's when now Pluto is already in Aquarius in January, and that's when Mars does its next opposition when it's in Leo now. And that's a very different sign and different vibration as it is now when it's square to Pluto in the cardinal signs, Cancer, Capricorn, and it's kind of sneaky. The oppositions aren't like the square where it's just completely blindsiding, and that evil exists for sure and it's having its way. Just this too shall pass, and give it like a couple weeks. But now there's like a swing, either way. Which do you pick? Which one are you pickled? That's what it kind of points at, with the opposition. Mars in Cancer is a very sore situation with everybody's domestic situation, maybe. I reflect on just America itself and how, well, is it really that the monetary system is the king of our creative life? But anyway, because I say no, there's just bills we have to pay, and then we can get around that somehow. I mean, if it's just electric, um, we're looking at a way to gather electricity in different ways than just using what's ridiculously being strewn across the land. If you've ever refocused your eyes and looked at the wiring, and we don't know what's going through the air right now, accessible to us if we just had the right fixtures and stuff, because we live in a soup of energy here. And then next we have water. Well, yeah, that's up to the people to see. Water is if you think about water and then people, isn't that a social thing? And if you're not very social, then who cares about water? This go. It's like a game on the battlefield where it's just go and run to the store and get your what can you afford, the higher alkaline water, whatever it is. You're stricken and succumbed by the number one enemy, which is not you per se as men and women. Hopefully, um, we don't. It's questionable there. But anyway, getting back to the show, if it does go on, it's gonna, this is interesting, because we're looking at this now because we all know that those fixed signs, the cardinal sign is pretty pushy and pretty like wants to get stuff done, and that's what it's fighting for. And a lot of times the fixed signs, and that's what we'll be dealing with next when Mars does oppose Pluto, and other stuff is happening too. I mean, let's talk about how that let's not skip over the fact that right about here, and now we're getting into December. I know it's kind of early, um, but it's substantial that Venus does its first opposition. I mean, conjunction with Pluto, and that is good for people who have air signs, and it's bad for people who have fixed signs. So you can just look at these parts in your chart and exactly what degree that these things fall on when it starts to give us a little bit of a crack in the foundation, I guess if you can call it, which because Pluto is now going to start testing everybody's foundation. I mean, it's now time to find out what you think the truth is. If anybody has made contact with reality, it's an interesting conversation. Uh, but just that alone, you'll find that, oh my God, it's desolate out there. There's a lot of people that do not know, and they are running, boy, and they are definitely better than you because they know how to run. Full speed ahead. Let's talk about ahead to where. Really, there isn't a head there. We'd only wish that they would acknowledge the problem and then get to the solution, which is never not going to be this moment now. It is now a beautiful place of just a possibility. Thank God the people that a couple doors down, they had a dog barking for a while. When they leave a dog in a yard and they go somewhere, apparently a dog can bark, and if nobody tells them, right, as the owner, if nobody tells the owner, they can, they'll never know that, your dog barks as soon as you walk out the door. It barks for however long you're gone until you get back. It probably notices, how a dog notices that the owner is getting on the very street or getting back to the trajectory of coming back to the house. They listen, they know, and they might stop barking then, but the owner never knows. The dog is barking solid. Anyway, get back to, it's good to practice like just talking to each other a little bit and sounding off and saying, oh gosh, hi, I'm here. After I feel bad for some people because I have um, an impression that there's a lot of money in my neighborhood alone because they are shop owners and owners of property or whatever, and we're all supposed to be big wig owning money, and they don't see me that way though because I'm not. I'm actually more successful than them in a lot of ways because of what the fact that where I'm at is homesteaded. It's from my great grandpa who had an intention to give this to his grandchildren, great grandchildren, and not for any other reason but that. Do you notice you have to hunker down and get your clean water going and hopefully stay in meditation of I will survive. La 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 la. You know what I'm saying? Being the survivors of what? Well, they knew. Sorry about that. I'll definitely get rid of that. But I'm excited about the Mars in Leo. It pivots right on my ascendant. It's a trine there, and you might see me kind of flickering, and I'm operating on empty, next to nothing. And this is the thing I wanted to talk about also is like, well, I'm going to post this video, but you can see I'm kind of slowing down and I'm getting very disoriented, I guess you would call it. But it's just stress. It's stupid. I stress on this. I stress on if it's just my financing, it's very little that I'm stressed over, and I'm so grateful for the people that are contributing and who think that they want to contribute. From right now, there's somebody saying that they have a hang up with their Bitcoin or something, and that I should get Bitcoin, and I should get Bitcoin. And it's like, babe, I don't know about that. You know what? I am so stubborn when it comes. See, getting back to the Taurus thing, it's not about money, like for a lot of people, and it is though. Of course, I would love to get a stupid bill pay that's very little. See, it's weird. It's like, wait a minute, I have very little. And the people out there that have too much, right? They have too much to worry about with whatever financial strain. Like when I'm talking about literally, yes, their overhead perhaps. Their overhead crushing, and all I have to do is get next to them and feel crushed. And it's like, you know what? Get the fuck out of here. Because that contagion right there, I'm pretty sure having said this, babes, I have been, I don't want to say fighting it off, but just trying to get my vibrational frequency on the high that I know that is necessary to at least back it away from the perimeters of my fence, my property here. Because somehow that fucking black magic system, now I was talking about, unfortunately, some of the neighbors, black asphalt slinging system, um, gets over into your space somehow, and they open rent space up in your head. You're supposed to believe this and that is going on because of what? Money? Fuck off, assholes! Not for rent here, not for rent. Actually, it's just if you ever open up an account with reality, I'll be there, and there isn't any payment needed there, except for just, have you paid attention lately? Pay attention. Listen to those words, man. With interest. What's your interest? You are interested. Oh, see, it's hard to get these people to slow down and look around and appreciate the things that are appreciable, because there's a balance happening, especially if you're here in the Mother Nature. There's stuff that's like, that tree just fall. Yes, not only did it fall, it fell on a cat eating a gopher. It's like, stuff going on. But see, it's just, believe it or not, that's a natural thing that happens, perhaps, and as natural as you can think of it as it gets. And so what I'm saying is just take the good with the bad, and don't be such the narcissist that only takes the bad only and throws the baby out with the bathwater, and you know. So I try to be loving really until it's like it could be 15 years and you finally figure out, no, these people are actually they would have you fucking buried over. Just they want to bury you alive. They don't want you to breathe air or have any words or say so or even presence here. Because why? Because you don't make money? That's stupid. That's fucking retarded. See, I just cannot get into their belief system at all. That money system, somebody was trying to tell me, and it's true. It's a religious belief. You have to believe in it too. But what does really work is the fear of death. And then when I talk about that, now I'm talking about now. There's like a flip side to it. Now, what is the fear of death? Flip side, the fear of birth. Whoa! See, now I'm going to point the camera inward to Shauna. Shauna here. She, that's a big responsibility to talk about giving birth to other heads here and say, now these are my children's, and really it is. I find it a profound responsibility um, to not only that alone. To me, it's not to the kids really. It's before that, when you have to hook up with something that makes you feel safe enough to have kids. It's a whole, like, to say that now it's not such a profound responsibility. The only thing I need to be is here, right? But if it's not safe, fuck, you're not going to want to be anywhere unless it's safe, right? So anyway, thanks for seeing me through that fucking sketchy. Did you find yourself in a ghetto and then get out of the tunnel and see the light? And hopefully it's all everything that you want. You know, everything that you can think of having. And now getting back to Uranus and Taurus, and what we have, that whole sensation. See, we're going backwards now. A lot of people you need to know, if you have like anywhere from, let's see where Taurus it is. Okay, so it's at 23. Well, by the time it's January, it'll be at 23. All right, so wow, I'm talking about Uranus going forward, and it's not even going to happen until. Oh, I'm sorry, it's going retrograde now. Sorry, it's going retrograde now. And it's going from 27 degrees, which is pretty up there in the Taurus range. And now we went to, now we're back to 26 through October and 25 in November here. And it's sneaking over down. See, in other words, in the later degree, but it's going backwards. So we're just not done with the ideals of Taurus being not only shook around, but strengthened up. You know, really going for its desire, which is for stability, which is strange because it's going to be, it's like this shake up to just you simplify, what's the other suggestion? Minimize, we don't like that word, but to scale down, right? And I'm looking to scale down some things, you know, I might have to scale down my actual physical mailbox. I've always had this one mailbox, and it costs. I can tell you right now, it costs $100 for half a year to keep that one mailbox. It's a drawer, and what's good about it is that it can receive like big books and stuff, but really, yeah, you know, I'm gonna probably have to scale down to a box, and I was just thinking how I don't even need that. I mean, but no, I guess I need that so that they can put a ticket in there that says I have a book or something inside of another box that, you know, the post office works and does things there. There's people there, so that drawer, it's just an ego thing. My family has had it. It used to be drawer W, which we were able to say POW, PO box W, right? POW, and that changed. It's no more an alphabet, that those drawers. It's 1136, and that adds to 11, which I trip out on that. And so yeah, scaling down on that would be getting very small box that is only like $45 for a half a year and $100 a year instead of $200 a year. You know what I'm saying? That's only wise for me, you know. But many people might know about the ego part, right? Like, well, kind of, I like being able to walk in there and open the drawer up, and people are like, man, who's that? You know, that has a drawer that gets their pieces of paper not bent, you know. And I don't get much in the dark. Like, thanks for listening to this. Really, it's just I don't get much out of it. Who does? I think that the post office, you notice how it says post, and we have these that gives email and that, but post, you're posting, you have a post. Really, you should know that you should have your own brand by now, and the reason why it's so confused and it's so stupid, it's a wash completely as far as the monetary system is concerned, is because nobody knows what brand to be or what to do, what will catch on, what's the thing that's going to take back $3,300 trillion or something like this. And so I say, and I'll say it again here, if you've been watching it, like and subscribe to this darn particular video because I'm bringing it up. It's hard to remain focused or like more like in your state of getting downloads to be able to channel out what I'm even trying to do here. Like what would be what you're trying to do here. What's the purpose of social media? And say financially, how do we take it all back and say, and screw you, asphalt swinger and fucking weirdo over there who cannot find love in their hearts, not for the darned 300-foot fence life of them, which is just wishing that really that they live like this. And I understand minding your own business, but after a while, no, if somebody is doing something like harmful, like self-harm over there, or they need something, otherwise they become mentally ill or self-harm or something, that doesn't even happen, not even, it doesn't, that's not allowed to happen, not even in so-called public jailhouses, or say the darn privately owned jailhouses. It's the warehousing of people there. Jailhouses are anyway. God, there's a lot to expose here, but the main thing that I'm making this video was about some of the astrology and some of these things that we're going to be purging and looking into, and thank God for some people who dare to do it through what becomes, it's a trip through, of course, the mind, right? The mind control system, which is looking at illness, man. It's looking at the main sickness, how everybody, have you tuned it out and in and out and out? Just look at it, man. It is a fucking madhouse. So many people that are not aligned with each other, not a bit. Okay, so now I'm just speaking for myself, and that's why I get on social media, and that's why I'm trying to make people see, really, just really in general, fuck my situation. You don't have to sympathize with me to figure out on your own and think a little bit what the difference is. Now that we have cameras and it's like Star Trek here, I am reporting and saying something is going on in my neighborhood that I think that might stink like shit. Have you found anything like happening like that? What I mean is, God, I'm sorry. This terrible Pluto aspect that I've been going through with the Mars thing squaring my Mercury, um, I know that somebody can relate that maybe it hasn't been easy with them because they have the later degree cardinal, and that's just a matter of figuring out where your planets are, and I can do that. See, I offer that for money on my Facebook and even here. Just a fun thing to do. And so I have yet to get Kimcast's accurate, just at least the year, the date, which is my birthday. So I just need the year, 1980. See, I would love to just see, but it's not everybody's thing, because once you're completely enlightened, you don't really need any tools towards enlightenment. Really, that's what astrology is. It's just it's one of the only sciences, or it's the number one science that points at all other possible sciences. If you want to get into science at all and if I can figure out what the fuck science means, I can definitely pull out my chalkboard and remind you. We can look at the word itself, and if you can't see the word seen in the word science or the word see in the word science, babes, you don't belong inside of a laboratory, or probably not anywhere. How did you make it here? Who had sex with anything and just popped something out that just is not locative of reality and refuses to see the truth that if a 5-year-old was to be exposed to it, you're in trouble, let alone a room full of people and 5-year-olds and all? Gaslighter, hello. I just got done talking with the gaslighter here. It's like, oh fuck, I understand. So you need to be directed towards opening an account with reality in case you would like to get like a charge, a real life charge. Now there's like 2 charges, right? There's a human charge. There's a charge that comes from being just, you're human. Now, I didn't say non-human. The humane being gets a charge from having made something work. I was talking about it in the beginning, where it's like, well, what does work mean? Well, I know it is that something rhymes with reason. There's a rhyme and reason, right? And that's what's really going on out there. If you want to talk about real science, it's what works, because it deals with what works is the truth. The truth. What's working there. It's really touchy, but despite all the noise and stuff that can go on, because people are trying to stand shit on end and it won't work as far as the laws of physics and uh, geometry. But lo and behold, reality holds all of that as equal as everything else. It actually works, because that's the beauty of reality. Getting back to what the hell is that? Well, I am dead serious about some of the. When I start talking about it, it's like, are we still like we have gotten so far away from, and then we have um, the political scene where Donald Trump is now president. But see, the main thing, of course, is not ever any different. Um, what we want to put on the table is what is reality, really, to figure that out. I had something deeper to say about that, but yeah, who cares about that? We have an encroaching mega problem where anything can go, really, and there's distortion all around. I mean, as far as just literal distorted perceptions that not even see. You can put up cameras, and that's why they have cameras, But I was going to say, not even cameras can help us out with it, uh, because look how flimsy some of those cameras are. Why are they so ugly? Not working, not looking good, not clear. Pardon me, Wallet. Yeah, no, I don't want to be distracted any longer. I was trying to tell you about that, getting back into the decoding system where it's necessary and applicable. I'm pretty sure, and this is what I'm going to say this for the first time because I'm just pulling out of it and into it, right? That it's applicable when we are going to hear, when we're looking for and pointing at the truth that is the same for everybody. The truth is the same for all people who what? See now, uh, who can hear this? If they can hear what I'm saying, and they're either cringing at the statement, the truth is the same for all, or they're lighting up and saying, tell me more, because they don't want to be gaslit anymore about, is this, is the, if you want, we don't have to talk about coloring or anything, but eventually, we are aligning words up with certain experiences that come through vibrationally, and that's interesting to think about. Because what if some people are just seeing black and white? So there are colorblind people, right? So you can't say, well, the sky is blue and the leaves on a tree are red or something like that, or this is aquamarine. Here's my little baby. Hi, little sweetheart. Oh, she does a sweetheart. She's so special to me. I just, pardon me while I'm now doing that. Yeah. My neighbor, he's been working on his truck. See, the first time that Pluto went into Aquarius, I hate to talk about like this, but his truck started breaking down. I these people don't know that I could help them through their process of transformation. It's like, it's time to look at the fact that you are not. See, that this is a temporary place. The This realm, your body, you don't own that. It's just going to break down. It's probably trying to break down just like your truck. And a lot of people ignore that, the breaking down of the body, let alone their truck. And that's fine. It's amazing, I guess the power of the mind will have you going right to the hilt, and then boom, talk about a break, babes. The worst break is just what I was mentioning is the breakage of the fixed signs, who they are going to be impacted by this Mars opposed Pluto, Leo, Aquarius, um, Taurus. It's actually Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio. Fixed. They kind of hold still and hold still and hold still. They won't change. They won't change. They won't change until it's just like they are petrified, basically, probably with fear, yes, and until it just shatters. That's the hardest, man. They probably go through the hardest kind of moves, right? They have to move and change, and the hardest stick, like the hardest stuck You know, those people, I think they are known to be like sticky people. You know, those are the people that kind of like talk about opening rent space up in your head. Who they're just full of mind games, and it's like the only fucking game they play. I mean, let's look at Scorpio over there, and poor things, man. Everybody's been through something. Pardon me. This cat. I knew that she was going to start shedding. She's going to start shedding a whole coat, right? And she's growing so fast. Look at how quick she is. And her paws are big. Now, whoever's allergic to cats is now having a fit. But I'm not allergic to anything but minds that think that they're more real than now. I start getting really screwed up. I mean, I don't know. There isn't a cure for a particular reaction that I get except for just to get away from the minds who are imagining a life to be. But getting back to really what I did talk and touch about the decoding system, which will start separating out the two brands that are here on this planet. There's the non-human being and then the human being, and or your favorite subject matter, maybe. But let's talk about the robot, just robot. There's a robot, and then there's people that just aren't robots. You know, they couldn't possibly do that. Do what, Shauna? Work in the toilet paper factory over there? Doing what do they do with the toilet paper? See, I don't think anybody works at a toilet paper factory. That is a completely shut, enclosed machine. What do they make toilet paper out of? Anybody find out like what? Comment section down below. Find it on your YouTube. Find the Charmin factory, the main one. Find out what trees they use, what the whole process is, and how many people per factory work there. I bet you'll only find 3. And they just press a button. They probably have robots that work there that know how to repair the fucking machinery, because it's a highly institutionalized place. Sorry, yes, and I am definitely just doing the Taurus thing. Really, Taurus is like all for just like, don't tell them about natural remedies. You know, the herbal remedies over there, all of it, all of the real medicines. What do you want? A cat? Never mind the little baby kitties. You know, the way that they start out really small like this, and then they grow, and after 9 months, they're the size of a baby, right? That's what some people are up to. And so here she is. She's getting pretty big. Look at her. She's like, remember when I was holding her up? She was just so cute. Now what is she? Oh, she's so smart. No, she's so sweet. She's trying to climb up the stairs over there. They're really steep, you know, and she's getting it. She does get it. She's just building up her muscles. Yeah, she thinks she's all big and stuff. She's hardly even big. No, she's going to be big. That's what I was trying to tell you. These paws right here, these back paws. Ah, God. She's getting better about not puncturing my skin. Pardon me. So she's eating better than me, you know. She's got a rump of chicken, and I'm gonna mash some potatoes, strain it out with some corn and broccoli. I do eat the broccoli and corn and potatoes. I don't eat meat though. I've gotten too sick on meat to want to ever eat it again. And something went on with me, my system, my particular vibrational frequency, is that if I do try to eat that, like just industrial grown meats, it doesn't taste right. It doesn't feel right. Of course, I don't feel right after that. You can get some kind of strange bacterial infection too from it. If you want to get rid of all of your illnesses, try to fast away from just eating meat, but do the fasting thing. Take it down to bones, and you'll get rid of every bit of every disease that you have supposedly. Stop taking medicines and just take it down. Drink water. Go crazy. Don't go crazy, but just listen to God. Listen to God, and then call me in 2 weeks.